Hey, what's going on, guys? Caleb Gomez here from the Litespeed Airshow. Before we get started with today's review, I want to make one quick note. Back whenever I did the proxy review a couple months ago, I realized that I don't really like to do the whole sit down in front of the camera, super scripted type of thing. So I'm going to be trying out a different style today. Let me know if you guys like it. Let's continue on. So the airplane that we're going to be taking a look at today is the Clik 21 from Twisted Hobbies and RC Factory. I'm going to take you through the build of this airplane, show you how it all went together. Then I'm going to take you to our practice gym. I'm going to put a couple flights on this airplane. I'll tell you all about the flight characteristics. So you might notice right off the bat that this is not a color scheme that's offered by Twisted Hobbies. This is something that was custom done for the Litespeed air shows. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, how we got this in the build sequence. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So the first thing that we had to do, obviously, is we had to get the existing paint off of the surfaces of the Clik. We went ahead and used MEK substitute, which is kind of like an acetone, and we basically just soaked every part in and we scrubbed off the existing paint. It came off pretty easily, and then after that we used just some stencils and stuff to spray paint the Air Force logos and everything like that onto the airframe as you see them now. And then in terms of the build, it's really just similar to any other super light that Twisted offers. This was not really a new build for me. I've built a few Kliks for the air show over the years, and this one was not really that much different. And I used foam tack for all of the foam to foam joints, and then CA, thin CA for all the carbon to foam or plastic to foam type of joints. Now I followed the manual that was on Twisted's website, and they actually recommended to use pretty much exclusively CA, medium and thin. But I didn't have any medium CA on hand, so that's why I went with foam tack. Surprisingly enough, this airplane turned out to weigh, I think, 117 grams dry, so that's without the battery. And that really surprised me because our previous Kliks ended up around the 135 to 140 gram mark, I think. We use a stock power pack that Twisted recommends for this airplane, as we do on pretty much all of our aircraft, and it seemed to work just fine. The servos all fit in place very well. Just a little bit of trimming required on all of the servo cutouts and everything like that. But yeah, that concludes the build portion of this video. It wasn't too difficult at all. It just took a little bit of time. I took my time on it, and it turned out really good. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and head to our practice gym, where I'm going to tell you guys about how this thing actually flies. First thing I noticed whenever I took off with the Clik 21 is that 15 to 20% decrease in weight that I talked about in the build sequence compared to the original Clik, that was immediately apparent. And this thing was just super floaty, really stable, really locked in, and it was really just a blast to fly. It's completely different than the normal airplanes that I'm used to flying, and it's a very welcome change, kind of a really good change of pace. And obviously, since this thing is a little bit slower paced, it loves doing all the slow, precision-based maneuvers that are commonly associated with something like F3P, that style of airplane and that style of performance. No wing rock and high alpha stuff. Even in knife edge high alpha, you usually get a little bit of pitch wobble. There was none of that here, and so I mean, this thing was absolutely rock solid, very stable, very easy to fly, very fun to fly, and I really enjoyed it. There's no coupling on the yaw axis at all. In part of the Litespeed air show, we demonstrate what all the different control surfaces do, and to test the rudder, we do these flat yaw turns, kind of in a figure 8. And so I tried that with this Clik 21, and there's no roll coupling at all. So like if I give it left rudder, it is only going to yaw to the left. It's not going to try and roll over at all, like a lot of airplanes do. And that was something that was a little bit surprising to me, I guess, because I'm just used to having airplanes do that. But at the same time, it just kind of shows that this design is really good. Twisted and Twisted Hobbies and RC Factory did a really good job with this airplane. All the updates that they did, the changes that they made to the original Clik, very good changes. It does fly better than the original Clik, in my opinion. The power provided by the stock power pack is perfectly matched for this airframe. No issues there. I used a 2S 300 milliamp hour Venom LiPo battery. It's a very small 300 milliamp battery and very lightweight. And you could even go down to a 180 size LiPo and get even lighter if you want, I guess. But I was getting about 5 minutes of flight time, which is plenty of time to have a lot of fun with this. I do think the structural changes that they made in terms of like the bracing for the ailerons and the little bit different bracing for the elevator is a little bit better. It does seem like there's a little bit more roll authority in this version of the Clik than in the original, and the elevator feels just as responsive, if not a touch more. Overall, I think this is a fantastic airplane to fly. Tons of fun. I had fun with it. I think you guys will enjoy it too. So that's going to do it for this review. If you guys want to purchase the Clik 21, I'm going to leave links down in the video description to Twisted's website, as well as links to our Litespeed Airshow, so you can learn a little bit more about that. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for future content, future reviews just like this. And let me know in the comment section below what you think about this airplane and what you think about kind of the style of review. So yeah, that's going to do it for me. See you next time.